Hi, welcome to another weekly reading vlog. It is currently Monday, August 24th. It's really late, so that's why the lighting's weird. And when I left you last week, I had finished 3 books and I talked about a 4th, and I was in the middle of Oathbringer. And as of tonight, I finished Oathbringer, and so I now have this 1,200 page monster under my belt. I finished it, I loved it, I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. It was amazing in every form. I don't know what else to say. I loved the characters, I loved the plot, I loved where the story went, I loved the direction in which it went. I thought part 3 lagged a little bit, so that's probably what I said in my last reading vlog, but part 4 and 5 were amazing. They were just like some of the best writing I've seen, especially part 4. That was like my favorite writing I've seen from Sanderson yet, just because it was so cool and so fun and so good and so emotional with a certain character. Yeah. Anyways, I'm really excited to read Rhythm of War, much more excited now. I'm excited to be caught up with the series, and I'm just excited for more content to come, even though I know after Rhythm of War, it's going to be a long wait. I finished this 1 book down, and it's already Monday. Yay. And then I did start, because I finished Duel of Fire last week, I did pick back up Crier's War, and I kind of like it now. Because I picked it back up, I DNF'd this like 2 weeks ago, and I'm now like this far in, I'm like, hold on. I'm about 200 pages into this after I restarted it. I did not like this book when I first picked it up, and I DNF'd it after like 80 pages, and I thought it was okay, had a lot of exposition problems, just I wasn't connecting with it, and then I picked it back up because it wouldn't stop haunting me, mostly because the cover is beautiful, and also I paid money for this. The first money I've paid for a book in a long time, and so I could not just let it go unread. And I'm actually really liking it now. Well, not really liking it. I'm enjoying it more now, and I think it's because I can connect more with some of the themes that this is trying to talk about. I'm really connecting with the themes the second time around. I always thought I could, but then I didn't like the execution, but now that they've started coming into the book more, we're about like halfway through the book now. Now that it's become like more prominent, I'm actually enjoying them a lot more. I just feel like the execution is still not for me, but I do like some of the things this book is talking about, and I do relate to the characters a little more now, and so I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna push through. It's not hard, it's not a hard read, so it's gonna be good, hopefully. I'm glad I'll have read it. And that is my update for Monday. I'm reading these 2 books, and I will update you later in the week. I've got some updates for you. First of all, I'm going to reveal the book that I've been reading for the past like week, or I finished it this week. I finished it Tuesday, but I didn't talk to you about it this week or last week because it was a surprise TBR video, but the vlog where I talked about reading this book is going up Friday, and so I can mention it in this vlog now. And that book is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I read this for a series that I do called I Read My Best Friend's Favorite Book. This is one of my best friend's favorite book, one of her favorite books, and so I read it and included her in this series, and the vlog of me reading it is already out, and the discussion with said best friend, I filmed that today with her. That will be going up on Tuesday. It'll be going up next week. And so yeah, I've updated you on my thoughts on this a lot, so I don't want to go on about it, but I think I've firmly settled on a 4.5 star rating with this one, and yeah, I read it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that reading Heather's favorite book paid off. Next, to update you on my progress for Crier's War, I have about 100 pages left in the book. I am on page 324, and I'm still enjoying this book. It's not my favorite thing I've read this month. It's not going to be my favorite YA fantasy by any means, but I'm still enjoying it. It's you know, an average enjoyment. There's things about the execution that I really still have issues with, but I am really interested in the plot right now. It did pick up, and it did pick up into a book that I am actually, you know, liking somewhat. So I am gonna hopefully finish this really soon. I don't have that much left. I'll probably finish it tonight. This is a really easy book to read. It's YA. It's very much like it's just easy. And so I'm gonna, you know, finish that. I haven't gotten invested in the romance yet, and you know, that's a shame, but I'm never invested in the romance, so I don't expect it all the time. I was just hoping with this one, but yeah, I have only like probably the climax to read left in this book, or at least heading towards the climax. And so I'm really excited, and I hope to read this really soon. I'm really interested in the plot right now. I went to the directions that I wanted it to go in and that I was interested in, and so I'm happy with it. And as we talked about in the last clip, I finished Oathbringer this week, and Oathbringer was my audiobook, but I've been, you know, reading audiobooks. And so I was airdropping some videos onto my computer because I film on my phone, if you didn't know. And while I'm doing that, I usually listen to an audiobook, and I finished Oathbringer, so I didn't have one to listen to. And so I picked up The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is a sci-fi about a meteor that comes in onto the Earth, that lands on the Earth and creates a disaster situation. And it's about the women who kind of deal with America afterwards. I don't know much about it. This is my friend Udi's favorite book as of now, and so I am really excited to be reading this. He got this for me for my birthday, and I'm very thankful. Thank you, Udi. But also, I'm like not very far into it yet, but I'm really excited about it. I'm 26 pages into it, and it was a really good beginning. It was really interesting. It was really like fast-paced and exciting, and I just really enjoyed the beginning. It got me hooked. I'm like gonna see it through. I'm enjoying when I pick it up. However, I haven't picked it up since that first listening because I realized that this is probably not the audiobook that I should be focusing on right now, because I need to get my classics done before I need to film my classics wrap up this Friday. And so I decided to pick up the LibriVox audiobook for A Study in Scarlet, which is the first book in the Sherlock Holmes series, so by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is a bind-up of the first 3 Sherlock books. We've got A Study in Scarlet in here, The Sign of the Four, and The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And so yeah, I started this yesterday as well, and I put The Calculating Stars on hold, and this is gonna be my audiobook for the moment. I'm already almost halfway through because it's just a short book. Like, this whole thing is not A Study in Scarlet. And so far I am 62 pages into A Study in Scarlet, or this bind up. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying Sherlock and Watson's dynamic. I'm really enjoying seeing Holmes figure out the mystery that's going on. I'm really intrigued by the mystery, and so I just really like this. It feels like it has a lot more substance than a lot of the other classic detective stories that I've read, such as like Poe's stories or whatever. Like, they're fine, they're good, they definitely inspired this, but this feels like I can definitely see why this is like the reigning champion a little bit of the detective stories, and why Sherlock Holmes has lasted so long and has such great longevity. So yeah, I've got to be reading this instead of The Calculating Stars right now. So this is what I'm going to be largely updating you on. Hopefully I will be finishing it by Friday. Hopefully the next time you talk to me, I will have finished this because I need to get on with that classics wrap up. And then if you didn't know, classes just started, and I am reading Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman for a class that I'm in. I read the first 2 stories. I've already read this book, and I gave it 4 stars because it was good. I like Norse Mythology a lot, and I like Neil Gaiman a lot, but like, it's not a book that I'm like dying to read all the time, you know? It was good for me to read it just that once, but I don't need to read it ever again, but I have to because it's, you know, curriculum for the class, so I'm gonna reread again, or as much as I, you know, can of it. So I only just read the first 2 stories. I'm just gonna be like updating you on this like briefly, probably like every so often. So far it is interesting to experience this book in 2 different like ways of consuming it. The first time I read this book, I listened to it over audio, and Neil Gaiman narrated the audiobook. I thought it was amazing, but this time I'm reading it physically, and I actually really like reading these stories physically just because it feels, I don't know, I like reading myths physically. It really feels like I can engage more with the text, and so this is definitely a text that I would like to annotate and engage with because it is, you know, a school text, but also, you know, it's a myth, and I like myths, and I like to really dissect them and pick them apart, and so I'm gonna be doing that with this one, but I'm not gonna update you on it all the time. This is like a really long update. Anyways, these are the 3 books that I'm still reading at the moment: A Study in Scarlet, Crier's War, and Norse Mythology. And I will update you Friday. It is Friday, August 28th, I think, and it is time to close out this week's reading vlog. So since last talking to you, I have finished a thing. I finished A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I really liked it. I'm still kind of sitting on the rating. It's probably between a 4 and a 4.5 stars. I don't know. It's really hard for me to rate this because I don't read the genre of detective fiction very often, but I did really enjoy it more than the other detective fiction that I've read, and I really think that this book did do something special and something unique, and I did enjoy it a lot. But it's not a new favorite book, and so I think that's what's really getting my rating to like be sort of wonky. I don't know. I'm still sitting on it, but I did really enjoy myself, and I do want to continue on with this series in this little bind up. I have 2 other books. I'm gonna continue on with The Sign of the Four probably next month, and you'll see it in next month's vlogs and classics wrap up. I really enjoyed this. I am still currently reading 2 books. I am still reading An Unkindness of Magicians, which I love. I am honestly loving this book so much. I feel like this is gonna be a 5-star, and I was expecting to love this book, but I was hoping for it to be a 5 stars, but I was still sort of skeptical. I don't know, I did think it was gonna, this is like a book that I would have predicted would be really high, like a 5-star prediction, but also I'm shocked at how much of a 5-star it is. I am loving this book so much. I am 139 pages in, and I have not wanted to put this book down. I'm just in love. I'm so excited to be reading this book. I love it. It's so unique and so dark and just magical and entirely its own, but also it's giving me a little bit of a Darker Shade of Magic vibes, but only 10 times better because I didn't like A Darker Shade of Magic very much, and I love this. So maybe if you liked A Darker Shade of Magic, you might like this, or maybe if you didn't like A Darker Shade of Magic, you might like this. I don't know, but I'm loving it so far, and I cannot wait to continue reading this book. It is just blowing my freaking mind. I didn't even tell you what it's about. This book is about a magical world in New York. It's about the magical world that lives right underneath the mundane world, or not underneath, more right alongside it. And the politics of this world is really interesting. Every 20 years or so, these house wars come, and all the houses in the unseen world have to battle, and some of the battles, the battles start off kind of tame and then they get deadly, but there's all sorts of conspiracy and politics and people's backstabbing and betrayals and just secrets and dark secrets. And we follow a character who feels like she is very much an outsider in the unseen world, and other people should feel that she is that too. And she is competing, but she is competing for revenge in a way, and she is really unhappy with how things are run in the unseen world and is ready to take it down and make some serious changes. I'm loving this book. I'm loving this book. I cannot wait to finish it. I will probably finish it next week, or definitely finish it next week. I'm so excited. And then I am also reading Norse Mythology right now for class, and we're going through it a lot faster than I thought we would. I'm 155 pages in, I'm halfway through, and so I'm enjoying it even more the second time around with this one, just because I feel like I have a better grasp on the myths and I can really take the time as I'm reading this and annotating this to really see what Gaiman is doing and how well he understands Norse mythology. And his prose, I'm really taking the time to appreciate his prose with this and how intentional it is, just like every Neil Gaiman book, and I'm loving it. I mean, I'm not loving it as much as An Unkindness of Magicians, but I'm loving it more the second time around. I'm still probably, right now my prediction is still that this will come out to be a 4-star book, but I'm really enjoying it right now, just like I always enjoy Neil Gaiman. So it's good, it's fun to annotate, I'm liking it. That's the update. Weekly recap. I finished Where the Crawdads Sing this week, and I also finished Oathbringer, Crier's War, and A Study in Scarlet, and I am currently working on An Unkindness of Magicians and Norse Mythology. Yeah, these are all the books that I finished or I'm reading this week, almost all of them. Thank you for watching this reading vlog, and I will see you next week. Bye.